Hey guys, I'm your host Smitha and welcome to Journey Podcast, your weekly podcast on transformational journeys. Hope you guys enjoy. Hello everybody, I have Eunice Nuna again with me. Last episode we have gotten our introductions right, and she spoke about her story. Listening to her story and inspiring stories that she put all around the Facebook and other social medias, I would love to have her again on the show. So with that request, she's back again with us to talk more on her work, what she's doing, why she's doing, and so on and so forth in her words. Welcome to the show again. Thank you for being.
Thank you so much for having me again here. And I feel humbled to have an opportunity again to speak to people because it's a mission that I have in me to just um, not change a person, but help a person transform and like feel wanted and loved. So today I felt like I wanted to talk about fear.
Nice. So before you go further, what is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is the fear itself.
That's a broad way to answer it, though.
Yes, I think my biggest fear is fear itself. I have sometimes I get scared of something that's different from fear. When I get something that is scaring me, I always remind myself that my biggest fear is fear itself. So I have to overcome whatever is going on.
So when you say like, yeah, you get scared of something, what can that those somethings mean?
Some of the things that scares me, I'm scared by of I guess scared of success. I know it's funny, but sometimes success scares me.
That is so.
I I have a lot of confidence and I believe I can get anything that I want. But when I am working toward it and it's happening, I start getting scared of now receiving it,
Yeah.
having it part of me. So success scares me, and I'm also somehow sometimes scared that I would. I know it's funny, but I'm scared that I would die before accomplishing my mission.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm scared of death
So why
for
did
now.
you wanted to talk about fear today in specific?
I wanted to talk about fear today because it's something that I have in my interactions with people. I have noticed so many people are scared, have fears of things that they can handle, and fear of them not knowing that they have the power to achieve anything they want. And also I have also had instances that I've suffered fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of, but I was able to overcome. And I always want to talk to people from my own experience and
Mm.
the things that I have experienced, because I know how it feels to have fear, and I know how it feels to be able to be on the other side and to be confident and to know that we are all beautiful and unique.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Very well said. Yeah, please go ahead and explain a little more. If you, when you are mentioning that, yeah, you have been hearing from people that different scenarios that they are feared are like scaring about something. If you have any such specific scenarios that you wanted to like explain, that would be
Mhm.
okay. Yeah.
I think I'll talk about one story because I'm always interacting with so many stories, but I met as a lady, and mostly I interact with women and I interact with teenagers because I love teenagers and I want to see teenagers grow in confidence.
Mm.
So I was interacting with one family because again I'm still new in America. I'm still trying to adapt the different cultures. So I interacted with one family. I was doing house cleaning for them, and when I was just doing the work of cleaning, I was there. They didn't expect much more from me. They expected me to come clean. They cleaned the garage, cleaned the whole house basically, and they were just looking at me like someone who maybe knew nothing. I would say that, but and I don't blame them because I had gone there to clean anyway. But it happened that I listened to their conversation.
Mm.
And there was the two daughters and their mom, and they were talking about how scared the girls are teenagers and the mom is a single mom.
Mm.
So these kids, to me, they have grown, they from the conversation that I have overheard, that I was not supposed to be listening anyway. I I heard that they were scared of life, of growing up. They were scared of growing up, the teenagers.
Okay.
And they were scared that they would get into a relationship and be like their mom, who finally got divorced, who has been working so hard to support them by herself. And one of the one of the girl has a flat foot, has a problem with the foot, so it steps differently, I would say. And she has been seeing physical therapist for that.
Mm.
So she was scared that the food that would make her not achieve, because she has suffered low self-esteem, and
Oh,
she would get people judge her and not believe
and
that
what?
she can do something. So I was doing my job and I was listening to their fears, and I felt like I really need to talk to these people, because what they were talking about to me was was if they had someone to assure them,
Mm.
they would not be scared of anything like that. So the mom, I interrupted and I said, by the way, I'm sorry, I've been listening to your conversation today, and I just feel like there's that need of me to speak about, to join your conversation if you allow me. And they were like, sure. So I told them my story, like the where I'm coming from and why I'm cleaning and what I want to achieve. And I was also scared of telling them that, because I was like, maybe they would kick me out or something. But they were happy. And I got an opportunity to talk to them and to get to know them better. And when I was talking to them, they were saying how they have struggled to be where they are. To me, they were rich because they were giving me a job, but they could not see that. They were scared of failure. The mom was scared of failure. The mom was telling me about the rejection she has
Mm.
seen, she has gone through. And I felt like fear sometimes make us hate ourselves.
Yep.
Fear of being us, for example. Fear of accepting, like, this is who I am and this is how much I can do. And fear of even loving themselves, because those three people, they didn't love themselves. They didn't even know who they are, and they didn't know that they can, living how they were living, it can be an opportunity. And I keep telling people, and I told them that your story, whatever you're going through, can be as a survival guidebook for another person.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you just need to embrace what's going on. Everyone has their own handicaps that we live with. And I guess I said that the other meeting. And I was telling them, you have your physical problem that we can see, but every other person have their different things that are happening to them. But what you need to do is to embrace what's going on and say that, you know what, I want to work toward this. I want to believe in myself, because once you believe in yourself, you're not going to be worried about other people. They were all worried about rejection, they were worried about other people, but not about them. And later I came to really think about what fear can do to people and what fear can do to a successful person, what fear can cover from anyone from achieving their greatness. And fear is like, I think it's like a devil. When you're trying to do something, the whispers of fear keep
Yep.
whispering next to your ear. Oh, they are going to laugh at you. Oh, remember, you're a single mom.
Mm.
Remember, you are raped. Who is going? Those things keep coming,
Yep.
especially when you are doing something for yourself,
Yep.
especially when you want to achieve something.
Yep.
And I've gone through that too. When I am almost doing something, a fear, a whisper would come to my mind and remind me of something that maybe the devil know that's going to pull me down. But when we are able to identify our fear, if we are able to know what's going on with our life, if I'm able to know when I do this, I get scared, you are able to handle that. And how do you handle that? As I keep saying, just by being aware of yourself, being aware of what you love, having the boundary, knowing how much you can go, knowing to say no, knowing to protect yourself. And as I said, my organization in Kenya, I teach children and women self-defense.
Mm.
Basically, not that when someone want to be raped, a rapist come, not that the skills that I teach them,
Yep.
they are going to make so much difference. If a big man want to rape a child, surely, even if I've taught them all of these basic skills,
True.
they will go ahead and rape them. But I only do that to build up confidence,
Yep.
to eliminate the fear,
Yep.
you know, to know to let them know there's something they can do. There's still something. Not that I tell them, no, you cannot be raped. If someone wants to do it, to still do. But the thing is, I want these people to grow without fear,
Mm.
to grow knowing they can express themselves, to grow with confidence, and to grow knowing that, to have the feeling of where their fear is, or where whatever is going on, to be aware of themselves. So I always say fear is a liar, and it's a big liar, a liar that is a devil liar. Yeah, I would say a liar that, if we are able to overcome our fears, if we are able to work on our fears, we are going to succeed. And even if you don't get what you have put together to achieve, you are able to be aware, I didn't achieve this time, so I'm working toward it. You're not going to give up, because I was not scared, I tried, and I'm willing to try again and again.
Can you talk about success?
Yes.
Unless until you are out of that fear, you can't reach here, people say. But reaching here is just not your ending. But what is your travel path, or like how do you define success here?
Success for me is not money, is not achievement, it's not big houses. Is success for me is being aware of what you can do,
Mm.
and accepting the much that you can do, and not comparing yourself with any other person,
Mm.
because we have different successes in life, and we have different goals. And success for me is being able to know yourself and how much you can do. Like, do your best to achieve whatever you can.
Mm.
Set your goal, but as we say, realistic goals. If, like, for example, now I am not going to set a goal of becoming the president of United States.
The goals are realistic goals, I can say.
Yes,
What you do, what do you want, and things like that. Yes.
I am not going to say that you should not have fear to walk in the. You are going to be shot. So, is having being realistic with yourself, and being realistic in how much the energy that you have. You don't kill yourself to try to, because Eunice Nuna said you don't have fear. You don't, make sure you be safe, because fear to the don't be overconfidence, I think is the word.
Yep.
Because when you I say don't have fear, you become again overconfidence, and you start assuming small things. With the fear I'm talking about is fear of not being able to achieve whatever you want. And respect is not fear. Sometimes people confuse fear with all these things. Something like respect is not fear.
Yep.
And being humble is not fear. You need to be humble. You
Yep.
need to respect people.
Yep.
But you don't need to respect people until you're scared of them. Just know your boundary. And you're going to succeed within yourself. Because once you are happy within yourself, when you feel success within yourself, you are able to achieve any other things that we can say.
That's so true.
And like I was also talking to another group of girls, and I was asking them, a topic just came from nowhere, and I was asking them, have you ever thought of yourself, have you ever thought of taking yourself out or treating yourself
Yeah.
better, having that treat for yourself that you want, you expect someone else to treat you? Have
Yeah.
you ever thought of doing that? And when we were talking with them, we realized that we rarely have time to treat ourselves much more. We're always expecting other people to treat us
Yeah.
good. And I was asking them, why would you not go to a restaurant and eat that food that you expect someone? Why? What is the reason that you wouldn't take yourself for a date?
Mm-hmm.
And the response that I got was all fear of judgment. A girl in a bar will be associated with all the other things, looking for people, looking for, or fear of judgment, fear of being alone. You're just afraid of, you can't be alone. You have fear of people will think that you're misusing even your own money, like you're covering yourself from the world when you really need something to treat yourself.
I 100% agree with you. If I can add there, even today, I'm not able to like, yeah, go with myself. As you just mentioned, take yourself out. Even my son, 20-year-old, he pushes me a lot saying like, what if I go out for college or something tomorrow? Since you being a single all the time, why don't you just go to a restaurant, sit there for one time and try to eat a meal? Who is going to ask you and what are they going to ask you? Why are you afraid so much for the judgmental attitude that somebody is having? Why do you
Mm-hmm.
are like taking it so much onto you? Like, yeah, they might say something, I'm not comfortable. You are taking their opinion even before they give you, and you make that like as if that is your decision that you are not comfortable going out.
Yes.
Have you ever tried that? Cross that line and go try it. Trust me, I haven't tried that yet.
You need to.
I still, it's not fear anymore. I'll be honest, but again, I did not create that opportunity to go out. Though I feel like I'm not so scared. I'm not going to be like taking other judgments or opinions onto me, and then me being like a closed person, or like
Mm-hmm.
telling somebody like, yes, I'm a closed person. I can't really talk. I can't really go out or something. Instead, I did not create an opportunity to go out yet. So when you are mentioning that, I feel like I'm seeing myself in what the words that you are mentioning. I'm 100% understand what you're talking about, actually.
Yes. And those are the things that continue piling until you cannot do some things anymore.
So true.
And I always encourage people. I love talking about self-awareness, being aware of yourself and giving yourself those opportunity without being afraid of who is watching.
Even for me,
Like if you want to go hiking, go hike a mountain. You
e-
don't want to drag the whole community with you.
yes, yes, that's so true.
Small things. If you want to ride a bike today, just ride it. Don't be scared about who is watching,
So
because small things like that eliminate even a fear that would come in future.
true.
And before I say more, the group that I was with, those guys, those women, I was asking them, because they all don't have husband, they elder, they don't have husband, and I was asking them, so are you waiting for your husband to come and take you out? Are you waiting for, what are you, what are you waiting for? You're working from morning to evening, working, looking for money. And you think that's something that you're happy working like that because the whole society community say, oh, Eunice Nuna is hardworking. And I continue making money, and that money I keep it, or I give it away, or I have saved so much, but I never even think of myself, you know, especially as we have come from this country. we work so hard, save money, and you set them back to people in our homeland. They're enjoying even much better than we are here
So true. Yes.
because we don't know. We are still stuck from where we came from. I don't
Yep.
want to go and I don't want to go in a restaurant and eat well in America and take pictures and post because my family in Kenya is still in poverty and they are going to judge me.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
you find that we have accumulated so much and we are living life of other people.
Yep.
So I think it's very important for us to step by step delete those things that you've put in our mind. We have culture and I love our cultures, but we need to work toward greatness. And
Yep.
be you cannot even become a great person without knowing yourself, without treating yourself, without acknowledging your presence.
That's so true.
And one woman told me, I think I have never taken myself out. I asked her, why? It's not that I'm waiting for a husband. Why are you? She said that she cannot sit in a restaurant and eat without her children.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, when I am being treated so well, and when I'm treating myself in a restaurant, where will be my children? Who will, like, I can't. They have to be there with me. Even when we were having that meeting, they are looking at a time to go home to their children, and their children they are 13 years and 15 years. And they occupied their mind, they forgot that they existed.
Yes. Yes.
And and I was telling her, who are you before those children? Our children are growing up. Our kids are going to grow up. Your kid is now at 20 years. He's leaving you very soon. If you don't work on that, if you don't prepare yourself, the fear I'm talking about is going to creep in, whether you want it or not.
Yes.
Because your life is held by my child. I can't do this because of my child. That child has a life,
Yes.
and his life is going to be awesome when yours is going to be frustrating.
Yes.
So I always want to encourage people to think about who they are before their children.
Yep.
Who are you before you are mom? Who are you if your child disappeared today? And I think we are able to face so much of our fears. I know we are, especially as women, with our kids, we are so tight.
Yep.
And I may not make sense to people right now because, oh, my child, even me, my child drives me crazy sometimes. But sometimes I sit and wonder, who was I before I got my child?
Yep.
If he get married right now, how will my life be?
Yep.
And I have managed to face my fear, especially like me. One of the biggest fear that I have faced, and I'm so proud about it, is the fear of trying to have a relationship.
Mm. That's.
I have stayed for so many years without wanting to be in a relationship,
Mm.
and I have been so scared for long
Yep.
to getting a man in my life. And when I was trying to analyze what are my fears, one of the biggest fear that jumped from my mind was my child.
Mm.
What will happen to my child? Oh, I kept telling myself, oh, I need to raise my child first until he's comfortable. Then I can think about a relationship.
When is
When will he be comfortable?
exactly? Yes. When is that comfortability meaning?
What is it? And then I always had fear to allow someone in my space.
Yep.
And I was like, You want to be in a relationship. Like I can't even put words on how I wanted my relationship, because somehow I wanted to be in a relationship, but I didn't want a relationship that I felt like is going to occupy my space. And my child is going to take my mind and the mind of the organization that I'm working too hard for, or mind for my child and mind for my parent.
Yep.
And I sat and I was asking myself, my parents are very happy. My child doesn't even remember that he has struggles. But me, I've dedicated all my life for them. And I'm so scared to to frustrate them. I'm scared that my time would be taken away. But them, they didn't care. Them, they're enjoying their life.
Yep.
Until I sat and I asked, do I really need a relationship? What are the reasons of me having a relationship? I mean, I was able to analyze, and I was like, let me go for it. That's a story of another day how it happened in a relationship. But to be honest, I've managed to face a fear, my biggest fear for years is getting into a serious relationship with a man,
Okay.
and knowing where I'm coming from rape, and being scared that he would leave me if he knew, all this fear. And I was able to face them. And when I was able to talk the fears out,
Yep.
so many things has changed. And
Definitely.
managed to look at the world in a different perspective.
Yep.
And that's what I invite everyone who to do, because I know we all have different fears. If you can be able to write your fears and say, every day I'm going to face one fear at a time. You can't face all of them.
Yep.
Even if it's fear of taking yourself to a restaurant, why don't you take yourself to start by that? Taking yourself for coffee.
Yep.
Then step by step, if you're afraid of trying, if you're afraid of doing business, why don't you talk? I always want to tell people, you really want to do business, but you're scared of failure.
Mm. Mm.
Why? Why can't you start talking business?
Yep.
Do business within yourself in the mind. Be a customer and
Yep.
be a seller.
Yep.
Face them and learn how to answer the questions within yourself. Because we are powerful. God created us in a very powerful way. But we have put ourselves in circles of fear,
Yep.
that we expect things to be done by other people. Oh, I you expect someone else to create a job and hire you. Well, you have the power to do that for yourself.
Yes.
We are expecting people to do magic things for us when all the power we have. I always look at myself at the mirror and I ask myself, what don't I have?
Yep.
Nothing. And I meet people like you, and even if you don't know, I'm trying to ask questions that I don't want maybe to be charged, because maybe I don't have money, because people are scared of doing things because they don't have money to
Yep.
do something.
Yep.
But I believe if the things are in your mind, you can get anything. You can just ask someone a question. Like me, I ask questions and I get answers. And the same question, it would have taken me to a consultant and pay for that.
Yep.
But I try, I am always trying until when I feel like now, and people are so much willing to help us if we believe in ourselves. So that is, if we can be able to face our fear from the small fear. Like, I would encourage you to start facing fear of staying without your son being in India and you're in America. You can start from imagining he's not there.
True. I have to start. Actually, it's not like, as I mentioned, like, yes, I don't have that kind of a judgmental fear anymore. But again, I never gave an opportunity to really test it, going out and see, like, do I really have that in mind, or just like I'm okay for now. So yeah, definitely I will.
Yeah, we really need to face our fear, and we are going to live a happy life. I know fears come from different but and they are going to continue coming. But if you're able to know this is the fear that I have and I'm willing to tackle it, we are going to when the big fear come, I also before I have been so scared of losing my mom for a long time. My mom is also old. It's like 75.
Mm.
And even the thought of my mom dying sometime I could even cry before just that thought.
Yep.
And then I was like, why do I even, what is it that my mom gives me right now that's too much that if she's gone, I'm going to, to die? Or what is it that, and I really want to start working toward that. I would always speak to my mom like every day to just, not because I want to get anything, to just know that she's alive.
Right. Yep.
And then I
You do.
was like, I need to stop this. So I stopped calling my mom every day. I don't, in fact, I said I'll always call her because she's old to know that I'm good because she deserves that.
Yep.
But I talk to her when we have a conversation.
Mm.
And when she's sick, I used to be afraid even to hear that my mom even have headache. Because to me, headache is death.
Mm.
I would see death after anything.
Mm.
And right now I told myself, you know what, it's not me. It's not me who gives lives.
Yep.
So when it's time for her to go, it will be painful, but I think I have put my mind that if it happen, I'm ready.
Yep.
And those are the fears that I have faced, and I'm proud about that.
Okay, thank you for tuning in, and you can find me on all the socials at Smitha Gunturi and the show notes for any resources mentioned. See you next week. Take care.